Hey, we're live! Wow,
You can see that June is really, really excited.
Yes, I am excited.
We're both really excited. Welcome to the launch of Daughters of the Soil Ghana Retreat launch. My name is Faith and I'm a heart-centered, trauma-informed counsellor and therapist, energy healer and mindfulness coach. And this is my beautiful, beautiful business partner, June Allen.
Hi everyone, I am June Allen from juneallen.net and I teach Black women how to heal from the impact of racism with racial sobriety and personal empowerment, and I'm so excited about this launch today. It's been a bit of a build-up, isn't it? So it's been quite nice.
Yeah, it has
so
been
we've
a bit
got
of a
our friends
build-up.
with us today. We've got our beautiful sisters with us today.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk through what you can expect if you come to the Ghana launch.
Okay, so let's just, first of all, what I want to do is just get everyone to connect, okay?
Okay.
So we're just going to wherever you are in Facebook land, and whether you're watching this live or in the future, we just want to connect in. So I want to just get you to take a couple of deep breaths in and just anchor yourself into the moment that you're in. Okay, we're just setting our intention for this live. So our intention is to communicate really clearly to you what this beautiful, beautiful process, this beautiful retreat, Daughters of the Soil, Ghana 2019, just convey to you this experience, and that if it be the right thing for you right now, that you hear the calling, and that the process of coming together to join us on this journey unfolds with ease and grace. Beautiful. Okay.
I needed that actually. I'm excited, but I'm calm excited.
Yeah. So I thought what we might do is maybe do a little quick background around the year of the return.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay.
Great.
So Daughters of the Soil, as a retreat concept, was something that June and I have thought about in the last couple of years. We've been talking about it, and I remember, speaking. I still remember I was in my flat in Australia, and I was talking to June. I was going, I've got this vision of us going to Ghana, on this retreat, and I remember you was going, no way. It was just all, yeah. And I was going, and I just thought, you know what, I've just got this vision, and then it was like a year later, and we brought it up again. And then we made that decision that we were going to do it in 2019. And then right at the beginning of 2019, just doing some research, I just came across this thing called the Year of the Return. And it was an initiative that the Ghanaian government was doing, offering to people of the African diaspora to come back to Ghana. It was like welcoming us back home. And, what was beautiful about it, and, just acknowledging that it was 400 years since the transatlantic slave trade began, and 75% of the slaves throughout Africa went via Ghana and left from that particular port, and that was just such a powerful thing. So to kind of come full circle, the Ghanaian government was inviting people to come back and experience your motherland. There's so much richness in this culture that you may have been deprived of, that you can now tap into. So when I heard that, and that was kind of coincide, because we decided we were going to go in 2019, and then I read all that, and I just went, we are so meant to be going, and this was meant to be going now. So that's kind of a little bit of background.
Yeah, no, it was. I remember when we had that conversation, there was part of it that was like, can I really do that? Is that really? Because I've never done a retreat before, ever. I've never done anything. But I mean, you've done a lot of retreats.
I've done about 20 retreats that I've been on my own, and I've co-hosted about 3. But I've been as a participant on many retreats. So I love retreats.
Yeah, it sounded great, but I was thinking, can it actually happen? But it's happening.
Yeah, we're making it happen.
So it feels good. It feels good.
Great.
It feels good to be able to, to do that. So
Do you want to jump into the details? Okay.
So the retreat is actually going to begin on Sunday the 10th of November this year. And it's going to close on Friday the 15th PM. So obviously we do the checkout and everything on Saturday the 16th. We're going to take everyone on a journey. It's called Return to Self. Actually, Return to Self is the theme of the actual retreat itself. So it's about going home to yourself. So the resort that we're going to be staying at is at the Royal. How do you pronounce that? Is it Royal Sanchez?
Royal Senchi Resort in. Do you mind if I say this bit?
You go for it.
So there's a Royal Senchi Resort in Akasombo, which is 90 minutes away from Accra. And the reason why this particular resort jumped out to me initially, and then when I showed the June was like, yes, because it was that perfect combination of modern and traditional.
Yeah.
So when you look at the resort, there's that sense of it's recreating that kind of like an African hut, but it's got all the luxuries of modernity. Because they're going to have luxury. So for me, it was like that perfect mix of both worlds.
Yeah.
And
it's important.
Yeah.
It's important for us to have that mix, because we were saying, like we were talking earlier, I mean, we didn't just want to get sort of like any budget hotel. We wanted something that was going to be nurturing and that was going to be luxurious for us to feel special, and that's kind of what
it was important.
It was important for us to be able to do that, and this hotel was just so gorgeous.
And
really
you know, when people go on retreat, you're actually very vulnerable. You're placing your livelihood, your safety, you know, in the hands of whoever the people in this case would be June and I. So if you're not having to worry about basic things like the hotel amenities and food, if you're not worried about that, you can kind of drop into the process a lot more and be a lot more present. So one of the beautiful things about retreats for me over the years is they're so immersive in a way that, you know, when you do workshops, you just kind of rush from the tube or from the bus or just park your car and you go. It's not the same because you've still got your day and things that have happened that's still clinging on to you. Yeah. But when you do a retreat and you're immersed, you kind of dropped into this world. So not only you dropped into this world physically, and us being in Africa, it's quite surreal too. We kind of dropped into our motherland, which viscerally, there's like a whole physical DNA kind of process going on already, you know. And then we're going to take you on this journey where the 12 women, 12 and us 14, we're going to be on this journey together for this whole of this time, you know. So we're kind of watching each other unfold, but supporting each other in that process as well. So you're not doing it alone. So that thing about it being immersive, you know, we can't underestimate how powerful and what a potent soil that is for transformation. You know, it's a beautiful mix for transformation.
Yeah. And what we were saying earlier, we were talking about, you know, I've never been to Africa before, and, you know, you've never been to Africa. And so for those of us that have never been, to do something like that in Africa is not just about the personal work, there's an ancestral feeling that's going to come into it, which is such an important part of the healing process. So for us to be able to do that and do that work as well, I think it's going to be very, very powerful. It's going to be really, really powerful to be able to do that.
And some of the women coming are African women, you know, from African descent. And, you know, I was born in Nigeria, which is just a few countries away. You know, it's like few doors, hello, neighbour. A few countries away from Ghana. And I've had my own process around fear about going back to Nigeria. You know, there's been a lot of processing, and there's been a number of times when my family have gone together and I've meant to go with them, but I'm based in Australia and just things didn't work out. So for me, even though I'm an African woman, like, it's a real pilgrimage too, to go back to that soil that I left at the age of 9, you know. And so much, the child I was and the woman I am now, it's like it's unrecognizable, you know. So for me, there's a real sense of a pilgrimage too. So I'm really looking forward to that.
It's really transformative. Really excited. Really excited.
Great.
So
do you want to talk about the theme?
Yeah, so the theme, as I was saying before, the theme is Daughters of the Soil. The Motherland is calling Journey Back to Self. Journey Back to Self. So we're going to be sort of looking at, you know, who are we in this moment? Who are we at the moment when we first go there? You know, where are we in terms of our healing? Where are we in terms of our how we relate to each other and the world, and just how we relate? How do we feel about ourselves? You know, it's in order to move forward, we have to first be willing to look at where we are in this moment, so then we've got something to kind of anchor from.
It's that starting point, isn't it?
Yeah,
if you want to know where you're going to go, you have to know where you are, you know, before you know where you're going to go. So
exactly.
That process,
So that process of kind of being honest about where we are in the moment is, you know, where we're going to start, and then obviously we're going to move through, look at your beliefs, your values, and just your nationality, your religion, all of those things that kind of make up who you are at the moment. And then you get to choose Because a
Yeah.
lot of the stuff that we feel about ourselves now is quite often what other people have put on
It's
us,
been
whether it's
imposed.
family or racism or
Concept, social construct.
exactly.
Yeah.
All of that stuff that probably nothing to do with us, but we've absorbed it because as children that's what you do. But you don't,
Yeah.
a lot of times we don't question it until we get in spaces where we think it's allowed to be questioned. So this early part of the journey is really important. So just being able to really think about that, because it's not often that we really do that.
Go back to luxury.
Yeah.
Because there was a beautiful philosopher that said that, an unexamined life is not a life worth living. And most of us are so busy in our everyday life, we don't get that opportunity to actually just kind of step back and examine. And that's what retreats are really good for. So we're going to have that opportunity to step back and examine, and we're going to take you on this whole journey, full circle, starting from the concept of who am I, and looking at the concepts of what constitutes self. What constitutes, because those are really important questions that we take for granted. When I say to you, who are you? Probably the things that you'll probably come up with be things that describe what you do.
Yeah.
Like my roles. And we look at our roles, rather than, like when we strip away all of those though, what is left? Who are we? So we're going to take you on that journey. And then we're going to take you through that journey of who am I within the family structure? Because once you come out into the physical and the family, those people that are in your family are the first people that you learn from. So how we become later on is usually as a direct impact of those relationships. So who are we then within the family? And then we take that into how we are in relationship with others, in our romantic relationships, in our friendships. And then, so we're going to take you through that and uncover that so you can get that exploration, the layers, uncover that and what's left. And then we'll finish, then we'll look at the global aspect, us as black women in the global context. Through our ancestors, our descendants, us in the world. And then we're going to bring you back to the self that's gone through all of that, and then who's the self now? Because we're constantly changing, especially through this sort of work as we evolve in. Then we're going to look at who am I now? That final bit. This is beyond the last day. Releasing victimhood. Accepting 100% responsibility, which is a huge thing to ask of anybody, but it's such a beautiful part of healing. Is when you get to that space where you accept that I take back all of my power. So we're going to take you through that process, taking back your power, and then looking at that, accepting your soul purpose, and that will be individual for each and every one of us. So that's kind of like the content and the journey that we're going to be taking you on. And how are we going to do it? So you're going to talk about some of the techniques?
Oh gosh, yeah.
I'm so glad you beautiful ladies. Our friends, our lovely friends on Facebook, we've got a room full of beautiful women looking back at us smiling, and I swear it makes all of this so much easier. You can't imagine, normally you're doing this and it's just you two of us going. But we've got these three beautiful women looking at us smiling, encouraging us on, and it just makes it so much easier. So thank you.
Yeah. Part of the sisterhood journey. It really is. So so some of the techniques and stuff are really important because, and what I'll say actually before I kind of go through this is that one of the things that Faith and I have really been big on around a lot of this stuff is doing it in a really gentle, compassionate, nurturing way. And the ladies, you know how we work. It's not something that we dive into. It's not an aggressive thing. It's not. It has to be done in such a gentle way. And you've always said as well that it's important for us to do it that way because a lot of us are not used to it. A lot of us are not used to having a sense of tenderness and gentleness about how we with each other and with ourselves. So that is a huge part of the techniques and the tools that we're going to use. So that's kind of like the way that we're going to do it. So the techniques that we are going to use and the tools are things like mindfulness, meditation, and anybody that's been that knows any of my work as well around the racial wellness stuff. So that will all be brought into the workshops as well. And I think just the fact that we're doing this as well in Ghana, I think it's important not to underestimate how disconnected we're going to see. How disconnected we've become from ourselves. So that's going to be really interesting, I think, from a racial wellness perspective, just to see how much we've you know, our psyche and our ancestral, the spirituality thing, the energy, all of that stuff has been taken from us. How much we've been really stripped down. So that I'm anticipating that's probably going to be quite a powerful experience to be able to do that. So yeah, just through doing the self-reflection and obviously the sister sharing and all of that stuff, that's really going to allow us to look at that stuff in a space that's safe and boundaried, and it's really going to allow you to find yourself again, because that's the whole point of it. That's the whole point of it. So yeah, there's a lot of different tools and stuff. I mean, obviously you'll be doing a lot of the other stuff. Yeah, do you want to?
Yeah, I thought it was really, really important for us to have a component where people can express themselves creatively. So, you know, and being able to draw how we're feeling, be able to paint how we're feeling, be able to maybe write a poem based on our feeling, just providing that so we can really, because retreats, again, they are experiential. So it's not just kind of sitting there, someone teaching at you. It has to be like a felt experience, really right through our marrow, literally. You know, so because of that, I think having the creative component is very, very important. So just providing those things. So how we're going to weave it in, we haven't kind of gone through fully, but that's really important. I feel like that's a really important part of the process. Yeah. And then also journaling and using the tools of visualization, affirmations, and psychoeducation, that will come through all of the work that we do. Yeah.
Just all about honouring, using whatever tools are going to work for you, because there might be some things that don't work for you and some that you feel more drawn to use. It's about creating different opportunities for you to explore your best way that you feel safe to express yourself. Some people don't feel safe to express themselves through mindfulness. Maybe that might be too triggering for some people, but yet you can do it in writing. Different ways to express how you feel, and I think it's creating those different, you know, sharing different ways that you can get the same effect, but using different ways to be able to do it. So I think that's really important as well, because not everybody's the same, and we're all on, you know, a different journey, but we're trying to do it collectively. So it's important to have different ways to be able to express that.
And I think just talking about the tools, I think it's really good time to talk about, you know, both June and I's experience, you know, as trauma informed. You know, when you're going to a retreat, it is really, you know, it is immersive, and a lot of things can be triggered. So it's really important that the space is going to be held sufficiently and professionally. And both June and I are trauma informed, and trauma informed practitioners just means that different things trigger different people, you know, through their trauma. So being able to kind of recognize that, and not so that way you're not forcing everyone to kind of do the same practice, but you're noticing, you're able to pick up the cues that someone's kind of having a bit of a reaction, so therefore you can offer them an alternative practice or support them and take them out of that space. So that trauma-informed practitioners, that's a really, really important thing for us to know. And also that strength-based but also client-centered. So it's always about, this is your experience, and this experience, everyone's experience is going to be individual. For us to facilitate the right sort of settings so that everyone can have their own individual experiences, you know, that's really, really important.
And the other thing I'll just quickly add as well, you know, as part of the techniques and tools thing, which is kind of in the timetable, but you will also get the opportunities to have one-on-one sessions with us as well, so that whatever's going on the retreat, you will have like
There's a couple of. It won't be daily, but there'll be 2 opportunities through the 4 days. We'll talk about that in a second. There'll be opportunities for you to, if there is anything going on or you're not feeling, you know, or things are maybe getting a bit intense or whatever, you know, you're going to be held basically through the whole thing. So there will be an opportunity for you to have, you know, one-on-one sessions to be able to talk through anything. Check in. Great. Okay, so the drum rolls. Okay, so we've arrived in Accra. Okay, we've arrived.
We picked you up from the station.
We picked you up from.
You're tired. You
so we picked you up. So that's the thing. You get to the airport, and one of us are going to be there to pick you up. Isn't that wonderful? Yay! So the retreat officially starts on the Sunday, the 10th at 5 p.m. So the Sunday will just be 5 till 7 p.m. We're going to do a welcome ceremony and a welcome dinner at night. So after we've eaten, so 5 o'clock, 7 till 7, after we've done that, then we're going to sit and have dinner together, and then everyone can just go off and chill out in their rooms. Just to settle in, okay? And then the retreat proper will start on the Monday at 6 a.m. So we're going to be starting.
There's a little bit of resistance in the camp, people. There's resistance already. You've not even got on the plane. The 6 a.m. start has not gone down.
See that I wrote this part of it.
Even when she said it to me, I was so right. Really? 6 a.m.? Try that again.
So the retreat proper on Monday starts at 6 a.m.
Yeah, it's at London time.
So we invite you to stay really open to the process, okay? So for me, I've done tons of retreat, okay? And at the end of the day, it's up to you whether you come in halfway through the day, or it's entirely up to you. No one's going to be there to kind of say to you, this is how you're going to do it. But to get the absolute most out of the process, this is the guidelines. And like I said, I've really thought it through in terms of how we process, how the body processes, how the mind processes, and starting off in the morning with yoga. So we start off with yoga or stretch, okay, at 6 a.m. And then we do 7 a.m. we do meditation. And then from 7:30 to 9, we've got breakfast and free time. Okay, so there's no reason why people can't come straight in at 9 and go and have breakfast. I personally would say to you, you're doing yourself a disservice if you do it that way, because you're missing out on elements. Because all of that stuff beforehand, the meditation, the yoga, it's all prep stuff that makes you very, very receptive and open for the therapeutic process we're going to be taking you through. So it's entirely, I'm definitely not going to shame you and go. But I would say, look. But I'm just saying it's done specifically for a reason, and it's all part of a whole. So I'll just say to people, it's only 4 days. There's 5 days you're going to have to get up that time. You may never have to do it again in your life. Just surrender to it and come with us on this process, okay? So we'll see how we go. I reckon you do it once, and your body just thanks you. Everything, your body thanks you, it really does. Okay, so breakfast and free time, so that's time to get showered and have our breakfast. And then 9 o'clock till 11:30 we'll do our first process. So obviously on the Monday we're going to be focused on who am I will go through that. Then we'll have our lunch, so we've got an hour and a half for lunch, so we can eat. And then the grounds of this hotel, this resort is amazing. So we can eat and go and sit in the grounds and enjoy the grounds. There's a swimming pool. They've got like 3 swimming pools. Just chill out, all of that sort of stuff. So you can really, sit back and then after lunch we have our next therapeutic process. That's another 2 hours. And then from 4 to 5 we're going to do the one-on-one. So there will be openings for June and I to see 6 people. So I'll see 3 people one day, you see 3 people. So over the times, everyone will get at least one. So the people that are struggling will get twice one-on-one. Okay? So we'll keep an eye on if anyone's struggling specifically, obviously we'll make time for them. But in terms of modelling, and I'm really strict about this for June, and we've got to model taking care of ourselves as well and having really good boundaries. So those are the times we'll definitely be available. But if someone's struggling, of course, either of us will make ourselves available. Okay? And then, look, 5 till 7, we've got relaxation and free time. And then 7 o'clock, a group dinner. So that'll be every day. So every day we'll have our breakfast together, and then we'll have our lunch together, we'll have our dinner together, and then there's lots of free time. After dinner, it's your own time. The village is a really beautiful village. It's a very safe village that you can walk around and check things out in that time after dinner. Okay, so that's the day, and then we've got the 5th day on the Friday. So that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So we finish all the content. And then the Friday we've got a day trip tour to Accra. We've been picked up at 6 a.m. and we brought back 7. And that's taken us through all the I was thinking more about going through the slave castles and stuff. So we're going to the castles, the point of no return, that space. Like every time I watch so much stuff on YouTube about that, and everyone just like, oh my god, it's eerie. It's eerie. So we're gonna go and do.
I don't want to go.
Oh no, we're gonna go.
I will go, but
it's gonna go.
Yeah.
So that's, And so that day I just put food not included, because on that particular, when we're out on the tour, would be probably the only time we'd have to spend some of our own money. At the resort, everything is included.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Except alcohol, obviously.
except for alcohol, but everything else, yes. But yes, so just on that day trip, take some money, or we might change some money for that. Okay, so over to you.
Yeah, so then the Friday is the closing dinner. We don't want to go, but yeah, we'll be the closing dinner on Friday. So obviously we'll have be able to reflect on how the week's gone and plans for moving forward and all of that sort of stuff. So it would just be a really nice opportunity for us to just reflect and just kind of share with each other, takeaways and all of that stuff on the Friday. Just to kind of, just to share and just be the last time that we'll be together to do that. And then Saturday, the 16th is when we check out of the resort. So
you and I are going to hang around. We're probably going to hang around for another 5 days at least. You might do more, but probably at least another 5 days in Accra. So we're in Akosombo, and we're going to probably go to Accra, and I'm probably going to, probably get Airbnb in the area just to kind of hang out. So if any of you ladies want to do the same thing, we can kind of clarify all that, because it'd be nice afterwards just to kind of hang out for a bit. So just keeping all that,
that'd be good. Yeah.
So
the next week.
We'll talk about cost, because you did the right one of them.
So the cost.
Oh, ladies, are you ready? We need your attention, ladies. We're talking about the cost, the important bit.
Coins. The coins. Okay, so the coins, the prices are in US dollars. So for single, if you want your own room, it's going to cost $2,799 US dollars.
Not pounds,
Not
dollars.
pounds, dollars.
US dollars.
We should have done
An
equivalent.
Conversion. Oh, anyone can convert. I don't know. It's
How
just
much is that in
it
US?
feels less. It's less scary in
To convert it. If you want to share, quite happy to share a room with someone, it's $2,299. So included all of that. Okay,
Is
your
everything
airport
excluding
pickup. Obviously,
flights?
flights not included. Everything's included in there except alcohol and flights. So today, it's $500
dollars,
US
which
dollars.
is 370 something pounds.
Yeah. So that's the deposit that we need. What's the deadline for the deposit?
ASAP. Just as soon as
Just ASAP.
paid ASAP to secure your space.
Yeah.
Really. Because if we say next week and then 6 people secure their space, then
that's it.
then it's gone. Understand?
Yeah.
So
There are only 6 spaces.
there's
for
only
the
6
UK.
spaces for the UK and 6 spaces for my beautiful ladies in Australia.
Yeah.
So there's
So if there are payment plan options as well available. So if you want to do by payment plan, it's the deposit plus 3 instalments. So that will be taken on the 1st of August, September, and October. So that's it needs to be paid by then, by the end of October. So yes, it'd be deposit ASAP. And then 3 separate instalments. Obviously, it's a little bit cheaper if you pay it all at once. But for those of you that need a little bit more leeway around it, then obviously do the payment, the instalments.
So I mean, that's just to clarify though, so people don't think it's going to be cheaper than that. That's the price that if you pay it straight away. If you pay the payment plan, there will be a percentage. It might be like 10% on top for the payment plan.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I see sad faces.
It's all going well.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Oh dear. So yeah. So what was I gonna say?
Okay. Why? Flight
this
from
one.
Sydney. Which were we? Flight from London distance.
I don't know how
It's
long
about-
is it from Sydney?
Well, from Sydney it's about 24 hours. Everything's 24
24
hours
hours,
from
isn't it?
Sydney. Yeah. From London, I think.
4 hours.
It's about 4 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite good. Yeah, and you said you did some research. It was about £400.
Yeah. About 400 pounds.
from the UK.
Yeah. You've done your research. This, that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's great. So it's about 4 hours, about £400 from the
Yeah.
UK. So why do you need to attend the Daughters of the Soul Retreat, Faith?
I think we kind of estimate, and I talked about it earlier about when you do retreats. One of the things that I've gotten out of doing retreats that the power of immersion, for transformation, and the power of taking yourself out of your everyday life, and putting yourself in in an environment that's nurturing, you know, also very different from what you're used to. Allows you, for me anyway, allowed me to be really, really open to change and to transform. Yeah, and you kind of got like a bit of a distance from your life, so you get a different perspective. It's almost like you've got like a different angle to look at your life from. So you're doing this work really on your life, but you've got this perspective to look at it. So so it's a good place to recharge as well.
Yeah, and also I think I think our combined experiences as well. Also looking at it from a cultural context as well, because I think a lot of people tend to go to retreats and they just go and relax.
Yeah, it's a spa retreat, and you can do a spa retreat.
You know, that's fine as it is, but I think to go to somewhere like Ghana and to do the racial wellness work as well in such a gentle way that I've seen you nurture your ladies and stuff as well. To have those two combined, I think would be a very, very powerful experience. Because a lot of us don't have that opportunity to be able to do it, and sometimes it's hard to do it in somewhere like Britain, where it's kind of like whiter than white. It's obviously we've done our best to kind of create those spaces, like the book club and stuff like that. But there's this, to do it in somewhere where
supportive of our melanin.
Exactly. It's just a completely different, different experience. So I think
it'll be very empowering.
There's so many different layers to it. So many different layers to it. So I think all of those things combined, I think could be an amazing, really amazing experience.
So what we would like now is open for questions.
Yes.
Because some of the women you might be asking a question that some of the women that are listening to this later or now may have. So I would really love you to be honest. And don't hold anything back. Just ask us anything you feel like you need to know, or any resistance, or anything you're going, okay. It's a really good time.
Come on, spit it out. I can see it. Go for it.
No, I don't know. Would there after the retreat? Would there be follow-ups?
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So what we were going to do is we're actually going to do some pre-retreat. What's the word? Not techniques. It's a word I'm looking for. It's like a therapeutic word. But anyway, basically, I'll give you some instructions to prepare yourself for the retreat. So that will be things like looking at your diet, what you're eating, and it'll be things like doing some meditation preparations, just some really simple things, but just to start to bring you to awareness. I mean, from my experiences, the retreats that I got the most out of were the ones that I actually followed those instructions. Some people do just kind of go, instructions, and you push it aside. But the times when I actually did follow those and I prepared myself for the retreat, it was a completely different experience. So there will be some of the pre-retreat preparation, and then there will be some post-retreat support afterwards as well. So thank you. That's a really good.
And that's all going to be. There's going to be a private Facebook group as well.
Yeah, then we're going to continue.
So the support that you'll get before, obviously during, and then after is all going to be delivered via a private Facebook group. So obviously they can, all the stuff that you're saying as well about sharing flights, and that can all be done as well via the Facebook group as well. So.
Yeah, and at the moment we haven't created a Facebook group, but once people have started to, I've got a couple of my ladies actually in Australia have placed a deposit, but what we're going to start doing is once people have paid the deposit, they will get access to that, so we can start sharing information. Because you don't want to be sharing information to a larger group that don't need that information, and then it might be a bit kind of rubbing in their faces. If they're not going and you're like, we got this flight, so let's just kind of keep it separate. So once we've got deposits, then we'll create that, and that will be there. So so thank you for that. That really good question. Yeah. Anyone else? Astrid, come on, you're gonna have a question.
It's just about money.
Yeah, good.
So, to get the regular price, like without the 10% on top. So you pay your deposit, and then the rest of it has to be paid by a certain date.
So we've got the payment plan that's got like 3 payment points.
Right.
So you pay the deposit, and then after that the next installment's due the 1st of August. So it's about 6 weeks away. So we've got like a bit, and then after that the next 2 are due at a month intervals.
I think you're asking
about the full price.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So what's the cut-off date?
What's the cut-off date for the full price?
Right.
Well, the full price will just be I'll pay all of it, because it's about first come first serve.
Right.
So if you kind of go, you know what, I'm going to pay full price, but I'm going to do it next month, and 6 people have jumped in and paid their 6 deposits, then there's no more space.
Right.
Do you know, so it's still a case of like the first come first serve.
Yeah.
So you might just pay so and I know what your question is, you know, to get in that maybe special price, so you're not paying. If you pay your deposit and then you pay all the balance in one hit, then you won't be hit with that extra cost.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You know, so
And
you
that
pay your
will be
deposit.
1st of August as well?
Yeah, if you pay that, so we'll set it
I
up
would say that, yeah. So
okay.
before the
that's
first
alright.
instalment comes out of the payment,
Yeah.
That's true.
you have to pay the full whack.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
So
fine,
otherwise
yeah,
it's a
that's
payment
fine.
plan.
Yeah.
So
makes
pay the
sense.
deposit,
And then you've got to have just before the 1st of
to
August.
pay the
Yeah.
rest.
Yeah.
Okay, that
Okay.
makes sense.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, then it's just
Then it's
gonna
a
be
payment
separate.
plan,
Yeah, yeah.
Sounds
that
it.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Any
Other question? Good question. Come on, Destiny.
What about what kind of experience should people have, or should they have an experience prior to doing the workshop? Any kind of, I don't know.
It's funny, I always kind of get funny about the word should.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just me, but I when I hear the word should, it just feels very limited. So, okay, what's preferable?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it'll be ideal for women that have done some work on themselves. I think if you've never done any work on yourself, you know, a lot of the people that tend to come on retreats sometimes think it's a spa retreat, and they're like, yeah, we're going to go relax. And there will be elements of that, but we're taking you through a really deep process. So I would say it's suitable for women, any of the women in June's groups, any of the women that attend any of my groups, because they understand how we work. So any of it's no-brainer. If women that have never worked with either of us are interested, I would say contact one of us and we'll talk. You know, we can assess very quickly whether it's suitable, because you know we're
They
very
have to have some sort of therapy,
some
be
sort of done
recovery
some
or
work,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because that duty of care, you know, like June and I have talked about this, and I feel really, really strongly about this, that we have strict duty of care. We're taking people to a country they're not familiar with,
Yeah.
to a process they're not familiar with. It's really important that they've got some background in some form of therapeutic processing. So so that's what I would say. If someone's done zero, I would not feel comfortable inviting them to come
Yeah,
along.
it's just not going to be appropriate. It's just not
Yeah,
appropriate.
and if they've done zero, they could have sessions with June if they're based in London, or they can have regular sessions with me leading up to it. Because
And
then we can work with them. We can see where the sticking points are, and then when they turn up with a thing, we can support them because we know what they're sticking, the areas. Whereas if it's like we have no connection at all, and like I was saying to June, you know, I've been on many retreats where somebody's gotten triggered and they're having a bit of a process and a crisis, emotional crisis, and it affects everybody else, because then you've got to kind of like drop everything and try and look after them, and that's okay to have that, but the retreat's probably not the best place for that to kind of
that's
to
a
happen to
therapy
someone,
thing.
because it's scary for the person, it's scary for them, it's scary for, it affects everybody else. I think again that duty of care is to make sure that everyone has the best time possible. Of course we're going to be like triggered and we're going to go through things, but not in a way that's really
Yeah,
manageable.
space needs to be held.
In a way
Space
that's
to help, yeah.
super manageable. So all of that stuff. So there, it's a great question. Thank you.
I was just thinking about, I don't know if it's a question or comment, but that things can come up for people emotionally, but also kind of through the body.
What was that?
Also through the body, and
Like
things can
somatic.
come up.
Yeah,
and I
because
just
people
kind of
could see it or-
kind of flag that, and
Yeah. I think that's why what Faith was saying before about the yoga and all of that, because that helps.
Grounding.
That's why, isn't it?
Honestly, it's somatic. It's kind of
Yeah.
like processing it through the body, because when you do an immersive process, you're processing on so many different levels. It's not just cognitive. That's why it's really important. That's why the thing about journaling, the thing about making, giving people creative outlets, and the yoga or the stretching is just another way of doing somatic work.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's great that you said that, because I
Yeah,
think a
thank
lot of
you.
people can get trapped in thinking that, oh, well, I see a therapist, I'm talking about it,
Deep stuff.
and they forget about the body.
Yeah.
And I think it's great that you brought that up, because I think it is important, hence why the yoga and everything is important, because a lot of people do think that they don't really think that it's a connection. They think I'm just speaking it out, and that's enough.
It's true.
The body will catch up at some point.
Yeah.
Apart from the body will tell you before the mouth
Before the
says
mouth
it.
says it.
Exactly.
Your body's quite very honest. Your body's going to tell you the truth. So
Yeah.
it's important that you said that. Definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any more questions? Must be more. And there's such good audience.
I know.
No, I'm waiting. So come on, give us some hard questions.
What's going through your head now in terms of where you are with it? Do you think?
But you know what? We can also, you know, obviously, you know, put comments and ask questions in the feed. So when you go home, you might think of questions. Just add them in the feed. This is a live. We're gonna leave it on the events page, and you can just keep adding questions, and we'll check it regularly.
Yeah. If there's anything else that you remember, or, you know, that you think of later on or whatever, you can just do it, or just email us or whatever. Yeah.
So yeah, I think we should wind this part.
Yeah.
We want to eat.
Right.
So we are having this beautiful launch. We're having a lovely African feast. So we'll say goodbye to you all. So any questions, please send either one of us a message. We will also put our private. Actually, if you go onto the on the website, you can send us an email. Yeah, and we'll put some links on this. Can we put the links and everything? This is June's area, so she's going to put all the links.
I'll put all the links on the website.
Yeah.
Doorsofthesoil.com, and it'll all be there. Or you can send me a direct message. Send me a direct message. Or doorsofthesoil.com.
So we're really looking forward to you coming on this journey with us. I'm really, really excited. I hope you can come. And I hold a very strong vision that we will be going to Africa once a year. And for me, would love it if it's a different country every year to do this work.
Yeah,
that's my vision.
So nice.
So if for whatever reason you can't come this year, just keep it in mind that this is not a one-off. We're going to be doing this every year. Okay? So we want you to come this year with us, but if you can't,
next year.
You know, there's always next year and there's always the year after. So next year I think it's going to be Senegal. I just have a feeling. Just putting it out there. Okay.
She hasn't even told me.
It just dropped in. It just dropped in.
That was the ancestors.
That was just dropped in. It just dropped in.
I got
Just told me.
goosebumps.
I only just found out.
The ancestors just dropped in.
Yeah, so thank you for joining us if you're on Facebook, and we look forward to seeing you at in Ghana.
Yeah, thank you.
See you. Bye bye.
See you soon. Yay.